All right. So solving multiple step inequalities. Let's go to page 151. On page 151, there was a soccer question there. Let's have Dino read that for us.
On what?
Page 151.
I don't have my book on there.
You do not have your book with you?
No.
Do you have a book?
Yes.
Can you go get the book?
Okay.
Pastor, read the question for us.
Example number 1.
Page 151, read the soccer paragraph.
Okay. Your school's soccer team is trying to break the school record for goals scored in one season. Your team has already scored 88 goals this season. The record is 138 goals, with 10 games remaining on schedule. How many goals on average does your team need to score per game to break the record?
All right, thanks. Good job. So you have the record is 138 goals, right? This is the record that you're trying to break. And so far we have scored 88 goals, right? But we have 10 more games left, okay? So I have to make up how many goals here? Hua, how many goals do I have to make up here?
The G amount of goals?
Huh?
The G amount of goals?
Yeah, so I have 103. This is the record that I want to break. I want to break 138 goals. So I want to score more than 138 goals for the season, right? But I've already scored 88. So how many more goals do I have to score to break the record?
You have to score the same amount or equal to 38.
So I would have to score greater than 51 goals, right? Or at least 50 goals, right? More than 50 goals. Because I'm off by 50 goals right now, right? Everybody see that? So I have 10 games, and let's say that 10 games, every game I score X amount of goals, right? So we're going to add these two together, and this has to be greater than 138. Does that make sense? We understand what we're doing here? Okay, so let's see. So how are we gonna solve this? Let's go ahead and solve this. So Delilah, what's the first thing I would do?
You want to do 88 plus 10x? Or
Well, we have that already here, right? I want to isolate the 10x, right? I want the 10x by itself, right?
so then you minus 88 on both sides.
Correct. So I'm going to subtract 88 on both sides. So I'm going to subtract 88 on both sides. This goes away, 10x. I'm going to subtract this. I'm going to get 50. And the inequality stays the same, right? Because I didn't multiply or divide by a negative number. I just subtracted. Subtraction is okay. All right. So what's the next step here, Delilah?
So then you divide both sides by 10.
Correct. You divide both sides by 10. 10s cancel out. X is greater than 5. So in other words, I have to score more than 5 goals a game, or on average, five goals per game for the last 10 games to break the record, okay? All right, so let's flip the page. Go to example number 2. Example number 2, we have x divided by -4 minus 6 is greater than equal to negative 5. Okay, so here's the equation that we're going to solve. Okay, again, I want to isolate this guy by itself. Okay, so I need to get rid of the negative 6. So how would I do that? Let's pick on Phelan. How would I do that? Phelan?
I don't know.
You don't know. So I want to get rid of this 6 right here. I have a negative 6. What am I trying to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do to get rid of this minus 6?
Add 6.
Huh?
You're gonna add 6.
Correct. You're going to add 6 on both sides, right? Add
Yeah.
6, add 6. So this 6 cancels out. X minus 4 minus 5 plus 6 is going to be plus 1. Okay. So, Logan, what's my next step?
You're going to minus or divide?
No, it's already divided.
Oh,
So
multiply.
What?
Multiply?
Yeah, so you have to multiply by negative 4 on both sides, right? So you're going to multiply by negative 4 on both sides. Negative 4's cancel out. X, I have 1 times negative 4, and I have to switch the sign because I multiplied by negative number. Okay? Good. All right, that's that. Let's move on to example number 3. Example number 3. You plan to go ice skating often this winter. The skating rink charges $4 for admission. You can either rent ice skates at this rink for 5 days, $5 per day, or buy your own pair for $45. How many times do you have to use the ice skates in order for the cost of buying them to be less than the total cost? Okay? So, how much money are you going to spend? If I go to each time I go, right? Each time I go, I have to pay the admission, $4 admission, and then I have to rent the skates for $5 a time, right? $5 every time per day, okay? So every time I go, I'm going to spend this amount of money, right? And if I go X times, right, that's how much money I'm going to spend during the whole time, right? And so if I had my own pair, okay, how much am I going to spend? I'm going to spend the $45 to buy my pair, but I still have to pay admission. So this is how much I would buy if I bought, this is how much I would pay per season if I owned my own skates, okay? So in order for you to own your own skates, for this to be feasible or better, this needs to be greater than that, right? In other words, I want to spend less money here, right? That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. So let's go ahead and multiply these out. I get 4. So I get, what do I get? Actually, I get 4 plus 5 is 9. So I get 9x, 45 plus 4x. Okay, so I have x's on both sides here. Okay, so let's get rid of this x. Okay, so I get negative 4x, negative 4x. I'm going to subtract both sides by 4x. 9x minus 4x is 5x. This and this cancels out. 45. if I divide by both sides by 5, I had this, right? I had this. Now I'm going to go and divide both sides by 5. 5's cancel out. X. 45 divided by 5 is 9. Do I have to switch the sign here? What? What?
Oh, sorry, you're talking to me?
Yes, you're what, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do I have to switch the sign here or
Sorry.
not?
No.
Because I divided by a positive number, I do not have to switch the sign, okay? So you have to go at least 9 times for it to be profitable to own your own skates, okay? There you go. So the book says it's the equal sign is not there, okay? Which makes sense, okay? So you have to go more than 9 times, okay? So we can get rid of that. Okay? So that's that. So in general, what do you see? We have to set up an equation, right? Or inequality. Set up the inequality. Once we set up the inequality, it's always the same, right? We have to isolate the variable term by itself, right? And in order to do that, we either add or subtract from both sides, or, right? Add or subtract from both sides. And then sometimes we further have to divide or multiply by the same side, the same number, right? Okay, that's it. Are there any questions on what we talked about?